Welcome to my channel, Planning with Maserati. I am going to be doing the devotional for June 2nd, which is Go Deeper with God. It's by Christian Surfers. It's a 4-day devotional. It's going to be hard to show you because this notebook's a little bit on the wider side, and then the tablet is pretty wide. So, welcome. Please subscribe. Hit that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. Please give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment, and share the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. So with that being said, let me show you, well, I'll show you that one. It says Go Deeper with God by Christian Surfers. So when you see this, you're in the right page. So you're in the right section, Christian Surfers, Go Deeper with God. So we are on day 2. I don't know why it has day 4, because we're on day 2. We're technically day 3, but I'm doing day 2 with you because I still need to do day 2. And I figured, what better way to do that? So I just have this little cheap notebook from Dollar Tree, and it was only $1.25. And so this is day 1. So I just labeled it June. So this is day 1. I do a lot of different color inks just to stand it out. And then we're going to do day 2 here. I didn't write out the scriptures because there's a lot of scriptures. And so let's go ahead and start. Again, Go Deeper with God. Day 2, right here. So I'm going to write out devotional. So you probably will see. Oh, there you go. You can see a little bit more. Okay. What I'm going to do is go like this. There we go. So devotional. So I click on the devotional to see what the devotional is, and it's Believe God. Click back out of it. It depends on how if you're using a tablet or if you're using, if you're standing your tablet up. It depends on how you're using your tablet or phone. So every screen's going to look different. And then the scripture. So I put read instead of scripture. Let me get my little dot marker, which should be next to me. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to use a brown one because that's what I've been using for everything pretty much. It's like a terracotta color, I think. I wouldn't know exactly what color that is because it doesn't say, but it is an artist loft. These are really good, and I just use this for a check, like a checkbox. And then next to that, I put numbers is the scripture, 21:7-9. Now, since this one is a little scripture, I can go ahead and write the scripture out. Oh, this one was too, so I did put it in the beginning. I thought I didn't do it. That might have been for the other devotional I was doing. So yes, I put it here, verse 10. So I could go ahead and mark that one off. It's easy like that. Okay. I make it simple for myself so that way I know, how I'm doing it and stuff. So we don't need none of that. We're just going to put it like this. Again, day 2nd. And so we're going to write out the scripture. So I'm going to put verse 7. The people came to Moses and said, can you see that? Yeah, I think you can. The people came to Moses and said, we sinned when we spoke against the Lord and against you. Pray that the Lord will take the snakes away from us. So Moses prayed for the people. That was 7. The Lord said to Moses, make a snake and put it up on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live. Verse 9. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it up on the pole. Then when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, they lived. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just write that out. I'm going to go ahead and just mark it because we're writing it out right now. We just read it, which is basically what we're doing. And then I'm writing it out. So how is everyone's devotionals for May been? I am behind, I think, 2 of them. two different like titles. You know, like I pick the title and then choose that one. So I'm behind two of them, I believe. But I don't really think the first one that I'm behind is like far behind. The second one, yes. Because I haven't started it. But the first one I already started. I hope that makes sense to you. I'll click out of here in 1 second and explain it to you. As soon as we're done with the video, I'll do that. Because if I click out of here, then I'll have a hard time looking for it again. Something with the YouVersion app, it gives me a hard time to find the devotionals I pick. And I know I have a lot of devotionals that I choose from, so I'm like, I don't know how I can miss that. I'm going to bring this down so you can see both. Usually I put this at the end, but I think I'm going to start putting it in the beginning. That way when I'm done writing, it's just, you know, it's finished. Slide it up a little bit. So I try to change colors when I'm writing. Not on the scripture unless it's Jesus talking. But like on everything else. Like if something really, really stood out to me, I'd change a color to make that stand out even more. Just a little here and there things that can change, you know, the way you're looking at it. So I should have probably did this one last so it's not taking up too much of the time. But I just wanted to come on here, show you how I do the devotionals. I don't think there's any wrong way or right way of, you know, doing it. But I could be wrong, you know. Maybe there is a wrong way. Maserati cannot speak today. A wrong way or a right way. Okay, so we're in verse 9. I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. That way we can see both. And, yeah, so I hope that's, you know, the way I'm doing it is, you know, perfectly fine. But you never know, because somebody that is a Bible scholar could be like, well, you don't really need to write this, or you really don't need to write that, but you never know, you know, right? So that's why I like to just let you guys know the way I do it is the way I do it. You might have a different way of doing devotionals. You might just read it and, you know, put it away. Read the scripture or read the devotional. Put it up on a pole. I'm kind of like writing sloppy here, so I'm trying to like slow down. I just don't want this video to be a little too long for you, because I mean, I tend to talk a lot, and I just want to make sure that you get to see everything as much as possible. We're almost done with this. I looked up Bible studies in this YouVersion app. I came up with a lot of them, which is awesome, because no one teaches you how, well, no one teaches me how to do a Bible study. No one taught me how to do a devotional. I just do it on my own and hope for the best, I guess, that I'm learning from it. And then I just change the color sometimes just to change it up to make it look cute. Okay, so that is done. We can click that off. I use the NIV version. You could use any version that's, you know, works for you. So I'm pulling it back out so that you could see the bottom half. So now we're going to do the devotional. It says, believe God. So we're going to do a lot of reading. And then as I'm reading, I'm going to go ahead. See that? I don't think they wrote all of it out, because my writing looks more than this. So I think they just wrote out probably what is most important. I don't know. So I don't know how they pick what they write out. Okay, and that's another thing. I don't know what you pick to write out. So I'm just showing you what I do. So what do you think the difference between believing in God and believing God? So that is a key question, right? What is the difference between believing in God and believing God? So do you believe in God or are you believing God? I'm looking for a color that could kind of like stand out. We'll do this one. So this is the Bic crystal. So I like the fact that that's a question. So I'm going to go ahead and dot that in the I'm going to call it terracotta. Kind of looks like it. Okay, so what do you think? Sorry, I read every single time I write something. The difference between believing in God and see that I didn't even know there was a difference. Like believing in God and believing God. I thought it was the same thing. Because if you're believing in God, doesn't that mean you're believing God? Okay. One simply is an acknowledgement of God's existence. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in black because that is the answer to that question, I believe, is an acknowledgement of God's existence. The other has a trust factor that leads to a relationship with him. So I get what it's saying. So one simply is an acknowledgement of God's existence. So we believe God exists. The next one is the other has a trust factor that leads to a relationship with him. So we trust God. I'm trying to slow down so it looks neater so you guys could see exactly what I'm writing. And not look like a mess, a hot mess. And how big I write is, it's huge, so keep that in mind. If you see a lot of pages, it's that reason why. But to see what is, but to see what the difference can make in your life, let's look up Numbers 20:21. So I'm going to put here to see what that difference is. I'm going to have to grab my Bible for this one. Can make in your life. Okay, so it's not giving, it just says Numbers 21, so I would say look that up later in life. Let's look up. And I'm going to show you a way that I do this as well. So I'm going to change the color to Numbers, and I'm going to dot it. So dot means you check it off. And then I'm going to change the color so I know to read this. And then I go even further and I put read Numbers 21 for day 2. So just like that. So that lets me know. Read Numbers 21, day 2. Where the people of Israel sinned against God, and he sent fiery serpents among them. The people quickly admitted that they sinned. So God had Moses make a bronze snake statue, which we're talking about in the first scripture that we read, statue, and put it up on a pole. God told the people to look up at the snake and they would live. Is that the one we're working on? Numbers 21. Okay, there you go. So you can read the whole Numbers 21 and, get an idea of what everything is about. Now, this was a long time ago, but they did have an idea about medical treatment and looking at bronze statues. I'm here. Right there. As a treatment for snakebite seemed unusual. You'll probably agree with that this is kind of weird. A weird thing to tell the people to do. But here's the point. The people in the story weren't saved because they believed that God existed. So let's write that. I'm going to go ahead and change the paper. Turn the paper, not change it. I'm going to have to lay it flat for now because it doesn't bend nicely. Okay. Put this to a side. And then here we go. So I'm gonna write, the people in the story weren't saved. Sorry, I'm just writing, so I stay a little quiet sometimes. Instead, it became an issue of whether they believed what God said. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as well. So instead, I have no idea why I underlined the I. An issue of whether they believed what God said. Okay. Did they really think he knew what he was talking about? So that's another thing I do is I take the bullet points, I answer them later. So did they really think he knew what he was talking about? Did they really trust him? So I'm going to leave a little space, just in case I do write, and I could always tip in a page if I needed to. Okay, so we're here. Did they really trust him and his advice? Did they really trust him? And his advice? Did they really trust him and his advice? Okay. So we're in there. Their lives were on the line. So I'm just going to write that down here. Their lives were on. Where'd you go? Okay. On the line. So the people who believed God and not simply believed in God looked up at the serpent and were healed. It's crazy but true. Okay, so I'm going to put that in a different color because it is a little different. I'll use this color here. Hopefully you're able to see this because it looks crooked. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to write the people who believed. It's a lighter color, so just be patient with seeing it. The people who believed. I should have probably did a different color. God and not simply believed in God. So there's a difference in believing God and believing in God, like it said in the earlier passage, or earlier part. Okay, so believed in God, looked up at the serpent, and were healed. So let's read that part again. And then in black, I'm just going to put it's crazy, but true. See how it stands out just a little bit more? So the people who believed God and not simply believed in God looked up at the serpent and were healed. Okay, so that's here, and it's crazy, it was true. So the question for you today is, do you believe in God, or do you believe him? That's much that he has told us in the Bible. Do you really believe it? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stop in a minute because there's not that much. I'm going to write this, and then we'll just go deeper. All you have to do is read that little part when you're ready, because the video gets so long. So the question today is, do you believe in God, or do you believe him? My answer is I believe both. I believe in God and I believe him. So that's question one. Then next question is, I'm going to leave a little space. People talk so loud over here. Okay, so there's much that he has told us in the Bible. Okay, so I'm going to put that on top in this color. There is much that he has told us. That's a capital E-H. Has told us in the Bible. So there's much that he has told us in the Bible. The question is, do you really believe it? As an adult, I believe, well, as I was a missionary, I believed it. Younger, I don't know, because, I mean, I'm younger, like, right? I'll read this part and then, oh no, actually I'm going to go deeper. Take a moment today and check your relationship with your Creator. Are you acknowledging his existence, but then just going about your day without him? Sometimes I would say yes, because you're so in a hurry and doing things that you know he's there, but you don't go through the day with him. How can you fill your day with moments of relationship that led into an abundant life in his presence? So those are the two questions you want to ask yourself, and probably write it down and answer it. And then, yeah, so that is the devotional for today. I'm going to go ahead and finish these two. Do you really believe that Jesus lived a sinless life that we humans are capable of living? I would say yes. For what he did, we can never. What happened to him, we can never. Like, that would never be something you would hear nowadays. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video. This will go up later today once I finish everything up, and I will talk to you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.